is very good, very good. A call to order. Welcome one and all to the March 15, 2022 Planning and Zoning Board meeting. We will start with a roll call. I'll go first. My name is Charles McFarland.
My name is Birendra Jakal.
Felicia Weiner.
Herbert Clark.
Lisa Williams.
Very good. Everyone is present and accounted for. Our first order of business is an approval of the June 2021 meeting minutes. May I have a motion? May I have a motion to approve those minutes?
I have reviewed the minutes and motion to approve.
May I have a second? Very good. All in approval, say aye.
Aye.
Very
Aye.
good. Approval of the June 2021 meeting minutes has been made. The first order of business, we have a public hearing for a conditional use permit request from Mr. Robert Allen Chambers, doing business as All Nations Society of Atlanta, for the property located at 4320 East Ponce de Leon Avenue, zoned residential commercial. I believe we will have a presentation from our director, Ms. Kawi.
That is me.
That is you.
It's a conditional use permit request from All Nations Society of Atlanta at 4320 East Ponce de Leon Avenue for a place of assembly for a church, a mission society. Currently, this property is zoned residential commercial, and the adjacent land uses and zoning districts are an NR3 single family residential, NRCD neighborhood residential commercial district of apartment, our railroad open space, that's the CSX railroad, and again, the high density development of NR3, which are converted houses and office spaces. Conditional use permits have to follow the criteria as outlined in section 312, with the criteria points of whether the conditional use would be injurious to the use and enjoyment of the environment or of other property in the immediate vicinity, or diminish and impair property values within the surrounding neighborhood, whether the proposed conditional use will increase local or state expenditures in relation to cost of servicing or maintaining neighboring properties, whether the establishment of the conditional use permit will impede the normal and orderly development of surrounding property uses predominant in the area, and whether the location and character of the proposed conditional use would be consistent with a desirable pattern of development for the locality in general. Mr. Chairman, the applicants have been sent the information, and they have been asked to attend the meeting, but I don't see them signed on as of now, so we can go into discussion as you would like to.
Very good. Gosh, unfortunately, since they're not here, that's going to make asking any questions fairly difficult, isn't it?
Ms. Kwai, do we know anything about, I know I understand the use, but do we have any idea on parking or traffic impact specifically to West Smith Street there in the residential area?
Well, let me see if I can share my screen and bring up where it is actually. Can you hear me?
I hear you. I can't
So
see you though.
currently, yes, because I switched with the, to show you actually where the property is. And actually you see two addresses, the 4312, which is located here, but the subject property is outlined here with 4320. And I don't know if you visited the property, but there is a parking space that's back. It's a concrete pad that they use currently for parking in this area, which is shared because the parcel goes down in the middle of where the parking is, and the rest of the parking is for this the 4312 parcel. Currently, the location has businesses already in the already at the location in the businesses. It has two businesses currently. There's a tax office inside of the location, and it's also a tutoring service that houses the rest of the location. I'm going to go back and try to share my screen again so I can see if I can pull up actually the layout. I know that you received it, but let me see if I can get the layout for you as it relates to how the current location is for this.
It's also, you can also see it on Google Street View if anybody wants a view of the actual parking lot.
Yeah, with the actual parking lot, because it does split down the middle. The property is split down the middle of the property, but currently this is the current total area and square footage of the proposed plan. This location has occupied this office space, this office space. This is where some of the tutoring takes place currently. This is a tax office. This is just a partition where the students will wait. It's a waiting area or a break room, as they say it. And then the tax office and these two offices right here are the ones that actually have housed the classroom. So we have had discussions that we've noticed from code enforcement also on the weekend that they have excessive parking on West Smith Street, even on that small area on that street, and in the parking area that currently is adjacent to the two buildings that I showed you earlier. So the residents that are there currently, the single family residential homes that are currently there, they do have issues with the on-street parking and meeting the requirements of the parking for, you really don't have enough room in the current location to house another business, even for office space. Because again, this is a place of assembly, and they're actually just want the office hours that are during the weekend from 8 a.m. to 8 p.m. If I answered your question in too much detail.
That answers mine.
Yes, I feel this would be injurious to the current location. I do. I don't think it would be a good idea for the surrounding neighborhood either.
It does sound like there are going to be some parking issues, to say the least.
There may be noise and just, you have to, I think that we need to keep in mind that there's neighborhoods around there too. I just think that it'll be injurious to that area. Are they trying to do a church out there, or what are they trying to do?
The application actually says Assembly for a Mission Society, but when code enforcement and you actually have the lease agreement inside of your package as well, state that they were assembling for an actual church. So we do have pictures in code enforcement that they have already been assembling before the application for an actual church.
Is that what spurred the application, was the so they're already doing it. And then now, yeah, well, I appreciate them trying to take the correct path. It doesn't appear to me, and without them being here to ask questions, it makes it harder to kind of decide, but I don't see how it meets the criteria.
So is this a new place of worship, or they are moving from somewhere else? You know, what is the rationale of establishing a church right in the middle of the city? I mean,
That is a good question. Currently, as we found out, and as we see that in the lease, actually the applicants were already renting the space as a place of worship during the pandemic. As we told the property owner that you do not currently have the space available at this current location to house another business. So it's not only does it not meet compliance, because there are already several businesses that have occupied the business in the square footage that's available. It's that they're applying for something, as Ms. Williams stated before, that they were already doing to be in quote unquote compliant.
Do you know what the capacity of the building is?
The capacity of the building is like 1,200 square feet. Hold on. It's 1,115 square feet.
50.
So they haven't had a inspection to actually know the capacity. We've done the capacity for the inspections for the previous businesses, but not for an additional business in this area. So currently it meets capacity based on the two businesses that are already housed there.
But not this particular business though.
But not
I
a
didn't
third.
hear you. That, please.
Not this particular business. It hasn't been.
It hasn't been, an inspection has not been done because of course they need to go through the process of applying for a conditional use permit request before. We've had pre-application meetings with them, and we did acknowledge the fact of what they're applying for and what it would take to be in compliance, and the property owner states that the additional businesses that are currently there will remain there.
Okay.
Well, in lieu that the applicants have not attended, what should be the resolution? Should we vote to?
Well, I will make a motion. I will ask for a motion to approve or deny.
What were you going to say, Shawana?
Just as someone just wrote in comment, I was going to tell Charles that this is a public hearing. So you have to read the criteria for the public hearing and allow the public, if you're going to open it for public section.
Very good. That's a failure on my part. I apologize. Where are we? Okay, we will open up. We'll open with a public hearing for the conditional use permit. Those in favor. Any member of the public may address the planning and zoning board during the time allotted for public hearing. Each attendee will be allowed 3 minutes. If your public comment contains a series of questions, please provide those questions to staff in writing on the public comment card prior to the meeting. Those who are in favor of the conditional use permit.
I'm kind of the only one here, so I guess that just makes me the person.
Hi, Amy.
Hi, Chuck. How are you?
I can't be better. How are you?
Good. I think that there's a lot of questions that need to get answered by the applicant, and it would be I think most beneficial to everybody, especially the applicant, if this was postponed, if you guys, just waited, pushed it off a month and let the applicant know that you really can't hear it until talking to them. Because based on what's going on, it may have been that this church has been meeting there for 2 years without any problems and just realized they were out of compliance and so wanted to be in compliance. Or you can find out more about what's going on. If the businesses are using it during certain hours, but the church is using it during other hours, there may not be that much overlap. And maybe they could find a way to solve some of the parking issues that have come up on the weekend. Like, is this all the time? Just some of the times? Are there ways they could sort it out? A lot of those questions could be answered by the applicant. The problem with voting it down now doesn't even they now have to wait a whole nother year before they could bring this again before the board. If you wait, then you can get a lot of those questions answered, make a better decision, and they have a chance to, kind of really pitch their case and answer some of the questions. If at the end of the day, they're still not doing what they need to do, well, okay, then that's the way it goes, but at least they get a chance.
Duly noted. That's very fair. Okay, well, we'll close the public hearing portion of the meeting with regards to the conditional use permit.
But I have a question. Shawana, didn't you tell us what they were doing?
Yes.
I mean, isn't the city aware of what they've been doing in that location?
No, we have not been aware of the non-compliant work until recently. But Ms. Williams had a question.
Thank you. Ms. Kwai, when was the applicant notified of this meeting right here, and did they respond when you recommended that they attend this meeting here tonight? Because right now is when we're here to ask them questions.
True.
Correct. And I'm going to get that for you right now.
I appreciate giving them a chance, but I would love them to be here now, and it's a little bit, I don't quite understand why they're not, unless there was some sort of communication breakdown.
Correct. They were notified on March the 8th of the meeting with the sign-in information as well as the time. And I do get return receipt. Recipients are aware that they have read the email notifications of attending the meeting. And we did receive feedback that they did read the notification for tonight's meeting.
And when they filled out the application, they were aware that there would be a planning and zoning meeting to discuss the application.
Yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Does anyone else have any questions?
I don't know whether it's appropriate to ask, but is this a particular ethnic community or what kind of community? Can I ask this question? Because some of the minor community who are here, probably they are working tonight and they may not be able to attend the meeting. It happens.
Could be.
And that's a good point that you did bring up, Barindra. Let's keep the call. Even all applicants and the applicant's agent were notified of tonight's meeting. So if one person could not attend, all applicants on the application have been notified.
So the landlord was also notified. He was on the application, I think. Oh, it's tough one.
Do we have to resolve this tonight?
Well, that's up to you. That's up to the team, planning and zoning board, and what you come together as a resolution. But the applicant's information and the owner's information that you see on the first page of the application, those are the email addresses. It was 2 email addresses for their agent and All Nations Society of Atlanta with the email address and Mr. Bob Chambers.
Obviously, something went wrong with the communique. I'm not sure what went wrong. Things do happen. It's kind of weird. I would hate to move forward without any representation from them, from the applicants. Although they was given all the information to be here, and not a single person that's involved with the application is here to represent. So I really don't understand what's going on, but I would hate to proceed in a definite manner if they're not here to represent themselves. So I don't know what the board wants to do about that, but that's just my thoughts.
Well, Mr. Clark, we could do this one of 3 ways. I can ask for, I'm going to ask for a motion in a moment. We can either move to approve the conditional use permit, we can move to deny the conditional use permit, or we can move to postpone to table the application till April.
Well, I don't think we should move to approve because they didn't show up to the meeting. I mean,
Right.
I don't think that's fair either. Because then that means that you just don't have to show up to the meeting and you get your conditional use approved.
Can I ask
But-
can I ask one more question to Ms. Quay before? I'm sorry, Felicia, go ahead.
No, go ahead, Lisa. Go ahead.
Ms. Quay, do you have any more insight on whether or not the parking issues could be solved and, and the residents would be okay?
That information I do not
Okay.
have
Yeah.
about.
Okay.
We have gotten complaints before that they are parking on the street as well in the designated parking areas on the weekends. So that is the non-compliant part of it as of
Right.
now.
Okay.
I have a feeling that since the group has been using the space informally for the last 1 or 2 years, and we should give them a chance to speak, So I have a feeling that we should postpone this for the month of April, but again, it's up to the board.
But I also wanted to preface that this has, the applicants were made aware before the informal use of the building that they were not allowed to use this without first applying for a conditional use permit to get the approval from Planning and Zoning Board, and then the discussed at a work session, and then for Mayor and City Council for final approval. They've actually took it upon themselves to actually move forward with using it informally before now actually applying for the conditional use permit. So we've had discussions with this applicant before about the use. As you can see, you can tell by the date of the lease agreement of when they actually started the agreement and when it actually expired.
Mr. Medford, what would happen if we denied? What would
Mr.
happen?
McFarland?
Yeah, if we like one of the 3 things you were saying.
Well, so I would ask for a motion to either approve, deny, or postpone, or table the resolution. It would subsequently go to the city council on April. They would discuss it. They would discuss it at the work session in 2 weeks on March 29th. And then the city council would have a meeting on April 5th where they would either follow our recommendation or deny our recommendation. or accept our decision to table the recommendation.
Well, if they actually if you tabled or deferred until your next planning and zoning meeting, then it would not go before.
Then it wouldn't go.
It will be deferred until your next meeting, which is April the 19th.
Well, at this time, I will ask for a motion to, again, either approve the conditional use permit, deny the conditional use permit, or table the application for the conditional use permit until April 19th. If anyone would like to make a motion, please do so now.
I would like to move a motion that this be deferred to the next meeting of the Planning and Zoning Board, and that is in April.
May I have
I'd like to second that.
Mr. Clark?
Yes.
Okay, let's okay, two postpones. My own instinct is to deny the application.
Me too.
Ms. Allen, you have a motion and a second on the floor, so you got to proceed with that. Unless you wanted to further
Very good. Let's
All in favor?
all in favor of the postponement. Okay, we have. All right, I'll say aye. So we have 4. So it's we have a unanimous. Oh,
you have to
Oh.
run through the, go ahead and run through the
I
motion.
forgot. I left someone. We're still waiting on one more vote.
That me?
That's you.
That should tell that.
I'm gonna give it a reluctant aye.
Yeah. I want you to know mine is as well.
Can you write reluctant aye?
I agree with Chuck.
I hate to take someone's chance away from them, but it's disappointing to hear some of the some of the circumstances. I wish they had been a little bit more I wish they'd been a little bit more responsible and but maybe we'll hear something new when they come next month.
Right.
And
Very
with
good.
all the parking solutions and all those things.
Very good. In that case, the vote to table the application for the conditional use permit will be postponed until April 19th. The motion carries to postpone.
Okay.
Other business will be the adoption of the 2022 Planning and Zoning Board calendar.
Yes, you're all familiar with the 2022 calendar or any calendar previously. All planning and zoning meetings are the third Tuesday of every month. We're on a roll now, so we have one in April, but you all have the outline of the month calendars with co-compliance and again, historical preservation are right behind you on Wednesdays, just in case you may want to attend some of those discussions. And we all know when city council meetings are being heard. So these are the Planning and Zoning Board calendar. The calendar, you have received those. Adoption, since this is our first meeting of 2022.
Our final piece of business is a hearty welcome back to our newest Planning and Zoning Board member, Mr. Herbert Clark. Welcome back, Mr. Clark, sir.
Welcome.
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 Thank you. My pleasure. My pleasure. Thank you so much, guys. Appreciate
Try to stick around this time, will you?
it. I'm not going anywhere.
I'm sure you're not.
I am so happy to be, it's such an honor to be, to continue to serve the city of Clarkston and have an impact, have an impact in its continuous growth. And I'm happy to be involved in that.
Well, we're glad to have you. We're glad to have you back with us, sir. So welcome back. And it's nice to see you again, sir.
Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
If that concludes our business, I will ask for a motion to adjourn the March 15th Planning and Zoning Board meeting.
I motion to adjourn the March 15th Planning and Zoning Board meeting.
Thank you, Felicia. May I have a second, please?
I second it.
We have a second. All in favor, say aye.
Hi.
With that, the March 15, 2022 Planning and Zoning Board meeting is officially adjourned.
Thank you.
Do you need a home gavel, Chuck?